Thank you for tuning in to this week's edition of the Geekly Weekly. I am Tef,
I am Sidar,
and this is Our Week in Geek.
our Week in Geek.
Our Week in Geek.
So what have we gotten into this week?
Well, on the last edition, we had just started House of the Dragon.
That's right.
And we powered through it, and we just finished it last night. And, to me, it was Game of Thrones, and I think like you had brought it, what was the term you used? It was less gory or...
It was like Game of Thrones, but it had a lot less things that were inappropriate for younger people.
Yeah.
It was a little bit more family friendly. I mean, I still wouldn't let my little kids watch it, but it was a little bit more family friendly, I think.
Yes, and the whole base of this plotline's going through a time where it's relatively there's no war going on. They have the little thing going on with the crab guy or whatever, but beyond that, it's been peacetime this whole time.
Minor spoilers in this.
Yes.
Not major spoilers, but some minor stuff might pop out.
We won't say any big details, but we might talk about character development throughout the plot lines without really giving much away.
One thing I will say is that you do get to see the characters grow and progress.
Yes.
You do get to see that.
But,
which I thought was cool.
There's a lot of complaints from the Rings of Power about what's the plot.
I thought the plot was great.
There's a great plot, but the plot is only about the back and forth of who's going to, be the heir and all that. It was really a tenuous plot line overall with dragons, which are cool.
If you think about it, that's pretty much all there is, because when you were watching Game of Thrones, all of that thing that was brought up in side conversations or just in passing things of knowledge that people just all knew, things that had to be explained to people about their history.
Right.
This is what you're getting to see, and it's really kind of cool to get to see this history come to life and watch it progress through the characters as they use different characters for different ages, which was cool.
Yeah, there is a lot of that cross-checking with everything that was brought up in the original Game of Thrones series. So overall, I loved it.
I thought it was cool.
I think we watched 3 episodes in a row last night, and we're like, oh, that was the last one?
To finish it up.
And of course, the way it ended, it was like, great. So overall, loved it.
I loved it. I thought it was...
You loved the first series?
Very good, graphics? Very good graphics. The dragons are amazing.
All the dragons were different. Each dragon was unique, which was really cool. And there was more than just 1 or 2. There was, a total of 13? And I don't think it showed all of them.
No.
I think they said the total was 13 somewhere in there. Well, whatever. If you guys know what the exact number of dragons, put it down in the comments.
It was amazing, though, and had good character things going on. Character growth, I guess,
Right. Another thing we have watched over this time period is we watched something that we had saw a preview. We were watching some previews on YouTube from movies.
Oh, yeah.
And we're like, oh, is that Native Americans and Predator? And lo and behold, it was. It was a Hulu original movie, and it was called Prey.
Right.
And so it takes place in, I believe it was the early, mid 1700s. Something like that. So a lot of Native Americans going on, and it was pretty good. It was funny that even though it was only like 200 to 300 years difference from now, that the Predator had much different technology then than they do in the movies that came around like from the 1980s.
Right.
So it was like, instead of like the laser to blow it up, it was like these little arrows.
It was still, because maybe even though, you have to think about what is their purpose. They don't just go out and kill people for the heck of it. They go to find the best warrior. They're like Goku plus.
Yeah, they're looking for the biggest trophy.
The best warrior so they can fight them.
Yes.
And so they're coming looking for a warrior. They're not looking for people just to chase and, hunt like a little rabbit. So that's part of that.
Yes.
They still have to do that thing where they don't ruin somebody's progress in evolution, I guess. So they had to have their materials be something that wouldn't change the Native Americans in their personal growth, because they were interacting with a lot of different species at the time.
Right. But overall, I thought it was well done, especially with the populace having such a lower grade of technology.
Absolutely.
Even with the Predator itself having lower technology than any other movies.
That was the coolest part of it.
It was still, and they were able to hang. So, especially if you are a big fan of the Predator movies and you always enjoyed watching them in the past, then definitely watch this. If you're not a fan of them, you probably won't like it.
You might be. You never mind. You might actually like this one because it's a little different.
But all the other ones I thought were better.
Yeah.
It's just, this is
I
just
thought it was
great
cool.
if you
I
want
liked
more
it.
content. I mean, if you're just like, oh, like if another Alien movie comes out, I'm watching it. I don't care who's in it
Right,
because
right, right.
it's Alien.
It's Alien.
So it doesn't matter to me. I'm going to watch it because of what it is. And there's people like that for Predator and other movies as well.
Absolutely.
And because this also covered the Christmas time period,
Yes.
we did some of Sidear's favorite movies this holiday.
Well, it was actually choices of the children. We had Frosty the Snowman.
Of course, Frosty Snowman, the extended version where they go on the train.
That's right. Then we had a request for A Christmas Story. Actually, I believe it was called, per my daughter, The Boy Gets His Eye Shot Out movie.
Yeah.
I said, do you realize the boy doesn't get his eye shot out? She said, it's still The Boy Gets His Eye Shot Out movie.
Kids are funny.
We watched that one. And then by other request was The Boy That Gets Stuck Alone. So, of course, we watched Home Alone.
So we watched all three of those, and everybody already knows those ratings. Those are classic.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
next year we're
Classic.
going to try to fit Christmas Vacation in
Oh,
there.
yes. We did get some questions about that.
Yes.
So we're going to have to fit that one into the thing next year. Yep.
So books. We actually just finished our last video on
right.
the First Law series that we completed.
Mhm.
And our current intentions are one of our favorite current living authors, and that's Brandon Sanderson.
Right. Brandon Sanderson's his year is just, next year is going to be a great year. We're going to get 4 new books from him to read.
That are in his Cosmere. His Cosmere is a universe of all his separate book series. They are all related, and the further he gets in all of them, the more apparent it becomes.
There's even a character or two that cross jump into the stories, which is really neat.
And we realize that there's quite a few of his series that, you know, we've already really done Mistborn and Stormlight Archive. Some like with the evil librarian Alcatraz.
Yeah.
Some with the evil librarians.
Alcatraz versus
even though it's
the
young
evil
adult
librarians.
I love some young adult. I loved Artemis Fowl.
Mm-hmm.
So this year is going to be the year of Sanderson for us.
Right.
All his new secret stories that he made throughout the pandemic.
And a lot that we have not looked into yet.
So we're going to try to get to all of them, even the sci-fi. So this year is going to be the year of Sanderson for us.
And each one of those will be covered in this show right here, the Geekly Weekly.
So next is music. We haven't really had much of a music listening to or change.
Not really changes, because I'll be honest, ever since I've come across Vukovi or Vukovi, I really don't know how to pronounce it. If you do, let me know. I have been absolutely glued to that. And the only other thing I've been listening to on constant repeat is the song Blow by Jackson Wang. That's a really surprisingly awesome song. I love it. And if you get a chance to watch the video is even better. I love it. It's great.
Yeah, it's great. Us doing reactions to, people that have said, hey, you should watch this video. It's something that's not in your normal wheelhouse, because we're more of the punk rock variety of people.
Although we really do have a lot of variety. So
yes, so it's a way for us to get ourselves introduced to different types of music out there that normally we wouldn't even look for. We got so much to choose from that we like to listen to.
That's right. Something new.
I've had some Papa Roach in my head a lot recently, but last week it was Tina Turner.
Stand Up. We'll have to do something with that. We'll have to get into that one. That's a good new one, by the way.
It is one of the newer ones. So Papa Roach is great. Seen him live in concert. If you haven't,
they were amazing live.
Do it. They know how to put on a great show.
Absolutely. He always knows how to perform great. That's true. What else did we get into this week? Anything else?
We had some cool food. One of the days this week, we had some, it was like, we just had some chicken thighs, and we're like, hey, let's do something with that. So I remember coming across a recipe, and it was called hot chicken salad casserole.
That was interesting.
And one of the things in it, because this is one of those older recipes we find from cookbooks, that from yard sales and estate sales like that.
Like the little books that are put together by communities and stuff.
They're like from the 80s, sometimes 70s and 90s. And, it's people's own recipes, and you get so many great finds in these. I highly recommend them if you like to cook and you want to find, different ways to cook the same thing. Because, like, this recipe had already hard-boiled eggs mixed into the casserole. And when you just mix all these ingredients together,
you can't imagine how good it was.
Yes, it's great. It's a great way to use any leftover turkey or chicken. We've done it a couple times. Pretty easy to make, and you can add a lot of different things to it to make it to whatever you would wish to do. You can have mushrooms. You could have We already have onions in it. If anybody really wants to see that recipe, let us know in the comments below. And not only will do that, we will cook it and make a picture video how-to recipe for
Slideshow
this.
recipe.
And so we have to cook ways that aren't that expensive, especially in today's, economy.
Right.
In today's economy. So let us know what kind of things you'd like to see us do there. And we have one last thing to speak about, and we love anime. And
Yes.
we haven't really been diving into much anime lately, but lately here and there, like when we're like folding laundry in our bedroom or whatever, we like to have something on in the background. And we have chosen this one, and it's called The Legend of Black Heaven. We only watched 2 episodes so far, and it seems about this guy's got some magic riffs on his guitar. Yeah,
No.
it's like one of those little woodchucks, and you like pop, pop, pop. There it pops up.
Boom. Okay, so
It's definitely not a for children anime.
it is not safe for work either. I would not watch this anime around most people. It seemed like it had some moments that were definitely for adults only. So
Yes.
check it out alone, but it is very good. It was funny.
So far,
It's cringy.
Kind of cringy.
It's cringy, but it's still good.
But
it's still worth checking out.
Cringy is great in anime. I love cringy anime.
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was pretty cool. But I'll let you know after a few more episodes because we're only 2 in and it looks interesting.
We're going to keep going with it.
Yep. All right.
Well, thank you for tuning in this week's edition of the Geekly Weekly.
That's
I'm
right.
Tef.
I am Sidar.
And tuning out.
We'll see you next time.